So the Colts have fever players out. Sophie was not there, but they give everyone jerseys, and Caitlin Clark, grew up in Iowa, is a Chiefs fan, refused to wear the Colts jersey. She just held it up like this. And she hasn't gone out and said, like, I didn't do it because I'm a Chiefs fan, but the internet was like, she's a real one.
I love it.
And it's just like...
Did Sophie Cunningham just drop the most unfiltered, explosive interview the WNBA has seen in years? From directly challenging league leadership and critiquing the entire WNBA structure, to now dishing out some truly spicy takes about Caitlin Clark, this latest conversation is absolutely wild and has captivated everyone. It's an interview that rips through the usual media filters, exposing raw honesty that's rarely heard, and trust us, you're gonna want to hear every single detail.
Are you watching the finals?
I guess watched.
No.
Hell no. I haven't watched a lick of the WNBA. I don't know what's going on. I talked to my teammates like the day that we did exit interviews and all of that, and I haven't. I need a cleanse. Like, I'm booking vacations. Wes, we need to go on a vacation and do a podcast.
Sophie Cunningham, in her characteristic fashion, held absolutely nothing back throughout the entire discussion. Every single thought, every frustration, and every opinion was laid bare, without even a moment of hesitation or self-censorship. It was a masterclass in unapologetic candor, pushing boundaries in a way that few athletes dare to.
I can win and roam it. Like, I can be like, I'm here. They brought, like, I'll put this shit on. Her not doing that is so incredible. I hope she knows how awesome that was.
You sent it yesterday, and I was like I'm not surprised by it. I'm not, because you know what? Everyone's always trying to get her to like wear something or do something,
And honestly, in a league often characterized by carefully curated public personas and PR-friendly statements, Sophie's unfiltered honesty stands out as the most genuine and refreshing voice we've heard in months. It begs the question, is Sophie simply being her authentic self, speaking truths that others are too afraid to utter? Or is she, as some might suggest, intentionally stirring the pot and igniting new controversies? Alright, let's dive headfirst into the nitty-gritty of this monumental interview, because Sophie Cunningham's latest revelations are more than just noteworthy. They are pure, unadulterated gold, packed with insights and opinions that will undoubtedly reshape conversations around the league.
So the Colts have fever players out. Sophie was not there, but they give everyone jerseys, and Caitlin Clark, grew up in Iowa, is a Chiefs fan, refused to wear the Colts jersey. She just held it up like this. And she hasn't gone out and said, like, I didn't do it because I'm a Chiefs fan, but the internet was like, she's a real one.
I love it.
And it's just like, it's so good.
Now, before we delve into the specifics of her shocking statements, it's crucial to understand Sophie's established reputation. This isn't her first rodeo when it comes to speaking her mind without reservation. Sophie Cunningham has consistently proven that she is unequivocally unafraid to voice her opinions, no matter how unpopular or controversial they might be. Whether she's playfully roasting her own teammates, directly calling out the WNBA's front office and top brass, or casually using strong language in the middle of a live interview, Sophie possesses an uncanny ability to articulate exactly what everyone else is thinking, but is simply too scared to say aloud, making her a truly unique and compelling figure in professional sports. During this particular interview, she truly went off, touching upon virtually every hot-button issue and controversy swirling around the league with unflinching honesty and strong language. Sophie made her appearance on the Show Me Something podcast, recorded right back home in her native Missouri. Picture this, she's casually sipping coffee from a mug, conversing with an air of complete indifference about who might be listening or what the repercussions could be. It was a setting that perfectly encapsulated her relaxed yet fiercely independent persona. There was no trace of a media filter, no pre-programmed PR tone, just Sophie being her authentic, unvarnished self. And somehow, amidst sharing anecdotes about horses, discussing local weather patterns, and even touching on her own experiences with baby fever, she masterfully managed to address virtually every single WNBA headline that has been generating buzz, with a particular focus on the league's newest superstar, Caitlin Clark. So let's kick things off by dissecting that pivotal segment of the interview first, as her comments on Caitlin Clark have certainly ignited a significant firestorm of discussion. You might recall the recent buzz when the Indianapolis Colts extended an invitation to the Indiana Fever players to attend one of their games, a gesture that typically generates positive PR for both teams involved. However, the situation took an interesting turn when Caitlin Clark, a known and passionate Kansas City Chiefs fan, was presented with a Colts jersey. Instead of dutifully putting it on, or even feigning a smile for the cameras, she simply held it up. That was it. No pretense, no forced allegiance, just a straightforward display of holding the jersey, a subtle yet powerful statement in itself. Fans immediately dubbed her a real one, praising Caitlin for her unwavering loyalty to her preferred team, and the internet was subsequently flooded with memes, flying across social media platforms like digital confetti celebrating her authentic reaction. And Sophie's reaction to this viral moment was everything you would expect from her, direct, enthusiastic, and completely genuine. Sophie went on to add, with genuine admiration, "I hope Caitlin knows how cool that was." It was a clear nod of respect from one outspoken player to another, acknowledging the impact of such a seemingly small but significant act. Then, with a knowing laugh, she continued, "I'm not even surprised by it," indicating that Clark's bold, authentic move was entirely consistent with the persona she projects. Now, it's important to remember that Sophie wasn't even present at the Colts game herself when this incident unfolded. She explicitly stated that she had already made her exit from the event before the Fever players arrived, indicating she wasn't privy to the live moment. However, the moment she saw the video circulating online, she couldn't contain her enthusiasm, immediately jumping at the chance to hype up Caitlin Clark's move. Sophie emphatically declared that Caitlin's refusal to wear the Colts jersey was not only incredibly authentic, but also genuinely inspiring. And she's absolutely right. While it might appear to be a minor gesture on the surface, in a league where players are often under immense pressure to maintain a polished public image and adhere strictly to PR scripts, that kind of raw authenticity truly stands out. It's a refreshing departure from the norm, resonating deeply with fans who crave genuine personality. Sophie essentially crowned Caitlin's jersey moment as her absolute favorite thing that happened all week, underscoring its profound impact and refreshing departure from typical athlete behavior. She even playfully joked about how easily Caitlin could have just worn the jersey and flashed a superficial smile, but the fact that Clark refused to cave to external expectations only made the moment even more impactful and admirable in Sophie's eyes. And honestly, this particular moment speaks volumes about why fans have such a deep affection for both of these incredible athletes. Caitlin Clark is celebrated for being unapologetically herself, consistently demonstrating genuine personality on and off the court. Similarly, Sophie Cunningham is adored for being unapologetically loud and fiercely opinionated. When one outspoken, authentic player publicly recognizes and champions another, it creates a rare and powerful display of mutual respect and admiration that fans genuinely cherish and love to witness. But make no mistake, that was merely the beginning of Sophie's incredibly candid interview. She was far from finished, and the conversation quickly moved into even more controversial territory. She then shifted gears, openly discussing her own recent controversies, particularly the widely publicized incident where she used strong language to criticize WNBA leadership and subsequently faced a hefty fine for her outspoken remarks. This was the infamous rant, where she boldly asserted that many league executives, in her opinion, lacked fundamental knowledge about the game of basketball itself, sparking widespread debate and drawing both criticism and support. Well, in this new interview, Sophie basically doubled down, stating with unwavering conviction, "Yeah, I said it." Her tone left no doubt that she stood by her original comments. And just to clarify, she made it abundantly clear, and no, I'm not taking it back. This resolute stance only solidified her reputation as someone who speaks their mind without fear of reprisal. She articulated her position with remarkable clarity, explaining, "I'm not going back on what I said, but maybe how I said it could have been better." This nuanced take highlighted her willingness to reflect on her delivery while firmly standing by the core message. 5 blank lines. Then, a wry laugh escaped her as she added, "I might have been a little harsh, but it's also just me." This statement perfectly encapsulated her brand of honesty, a blend of self-awareness and unwavering authenticity. That, my friends, is such a quintessentially Sophie thing to say. It's a masterful blend of a half apology, acknowledging the intensity of her delivery, coupled with an undeniable mic drop reinforcing the unwavering truth of her original message. It's a testament to her unique and powerful communication style. She even admitted to a desire to be more mindful of her language in the future, recognizing that when she uses strong words, people sometimes incorrectly assume she lacks intelligence or credibility. Her exact words, delivered with a mix of frustration and insight, were, "When I cuss, people think I'm uneducated." The interviewer pressed her further, asking directly if she regretted those pointed comments about Commissioner Kathy Engelbert or the broader league office. Sophie, without a moment's hesitation, responded with her characteristic bluntness. She conceded, "Maybe I shouldn't have cussed, but I meant it." This powerful statement perfectly encapsulates her ethos. While she might consider refining her delivery, the substance and conviction behind her words remain unshaken. That right there is precisely the kind of blunt, unapologetic honesty that fans desperately wish more players would exhibit. It's a refreshing departure from the carefully constructed narratives that often dominate professional sports. There's no walking on eggshells, no tiptoeing around sensitive subjects, and absolutely no hiding behind layers of media training designed to sanitize every public statement. Simply Sophie Cunningham, boldly and directly articulating what countless fans and even other players are already thinking, but are too cautious to vocalize themselves. But Sophie's candidness didn't stop with her own controversies. She surprisingly, and almost inadvertently, came to Caitlin Clark's defense once again, highlighting a fascinating dynamic between the two players. When she was specifically asked if she had been diligently following the WNBA finals, her response was a flat-out, emphatic hell no. This immediately caught everyone off guard, demonstrating her complete disengagement from the league's culminating event. She elaborated, stating, "I haven't watched a lick of the WNBA. I'm on a break." This declaration underscored her personal decision to completely disconnect from the league during her offseason, prioritizing her own rest and mental space. Then, almost as an afterthought, she added, "Good luck to whoever wins." This casual remark further emphasized her detachment, indicating a lack of personal investment in the outcome of the championship. She concluded her thought with an even more striking statement, "I honestly don't care who wins." This level of indifference from a current WNBA player about the league's biggest event is certainly eyebrow-raising, to say the least. Now, before anyone rushes to judge her for such a seemingly dismissive stance, Sophie actually proceeded to articulate a remarkably solid and thought-provoking point to justify her perspective, which we'll delve into next. And that sentiment, that deep, unspoken exhaustion, is something countless professional athletes grapple with, but are rarely brave enough to voice publicly. Sophie, however, laid it all bare, explaining the relentless grind of daily competition. When you're immersed in that intensity, and setbacks inevitably occur, the mental and emotional toll is immense. The idea of immediately watching other teams play right after a tough loss isn't just unappealing, it's genuinely painful, a constant reminder of what just went wrong. So, when she declared she was on a WNBA cleanse, it wasn't a subtle jab at anyone, it was a candid admission of profound burnout, a psychological necessity after a season that frankly pushed everyone to their limits. After everything she endured, who could possibly fault her for needing that vital space to reset and recover? She described her postseason retreat as a deliberate effort to unwind, spending quality time with family and deliberately seeking out a simpler, less complicated existence for a change. Yet, even in her quest for tranquility, Sophie's indelible personality shone through, punctuated by those signature sarcastic one-liners that remind everyone why she's such a captivating figure. With a wry smile, she declared she was booking vacations, signifying a complete detachment from the league's perpetual drama. "I'm over it," she quipped, making it clear that while controversies might swirl, she was stepping away from the fray. It's this unique ability to pivot, seamlessly transitioning from discussing league fines and the intense pressures of professional sports to lighthearted chatter about peacoats and upcoming Christmas trips, that truly sets Sophie apart and makes her interviews feel less like formal discussions and more like engaging, unpredictable conversations. But let's rewind for a moment to that now infamous Caitlin Clark jersey incident, because Sophie's reaction to it actually revealed something far more profound than just a moment of humor. She didn't simply find it amusing, she recognized its inherent power. Sophie articulated that the moment showcased Caitlin's unwavering self-assurance, a clear statement that she knew precisely who she was and had no intention of bending to external pressures or trying to appease every critic. Sophie even expressed a sincere hope that Caitlin truly grasped just how iconic that seemingly small, unscripted gesture was, a sentiment that resonated deeply, and honestly, she's not wrong in her assessment. That short, powerful clip of Caitlin holding the jersey rather than donning it exploded across social media, instantly becoming one of the most shared WNBA posts of the entire week. It was a masterclass in nonverbal communication, radiating an undeniable confidence without her needing to utter a single word. Sophie lauded it as awesome, and the fan base overwhelmingly concurred. Because let's be brutally honest, Caitlin Clark could have easily defaulted to the predictable public relations move. A polite smile, a quick photo op, and the jersey dutifully slipped on. Instead, she quietly yet firmly stood her ground, maintaining her authentic self, and the fans absolutely adored her for it. This shared commitment to genuine self-expression is precisely why Sophie feels such a kinship with Caitlin. Both are unyielding in their refusal to fabricate personas for social media engagement or to gain league approval, a rare and commendable trait in today's hyper-scrutinized sports landscape. As the interview progressed, Sophie shifted gears, delving into the undeniable consequences that come with being an outspoken voice in the WNBA. She articulated a profound sense of responsibility, feeling like she stands as a representative for countless other players who, for various reasons, cannot publicly express certain truths or frustrations. Her words were clear: "I represent a lot of people who don't say stuff, so I want to make sure I say it right." This isn't just noise, it's a deliberate, thoughtful commitment to advocating for her peers, ensuring that when she speaks, she does so with precision and purpose, giving voice to the collective sentiments that often remain whispered behind closed doors. Then she delivered yet another unfiltered observation that immediately set the fan base abuzz. When the discussion inevitably circled back to the topic of WNBA leadership, Sophie candidly reiterated her long-held belief that many of the executives, despite their obvious business acumen, fundamentally lack a true understanding of the game itself. They might be good business people, she stated unequivocally, but they don't know basketball. This particular line had previously ignited a firestorm across social media, and far from backtracking or offering an apology, Sophie doubled down, calmly explaining her perspective. She illuminated the critical disconnect. The very individuals making the most impactful decisions for the players and the league itself often appear to lack a deep, intrinsic comprehension of the sport they are supposedly building and promoting. For anyone who has followed Sophie's career, this unvarnished honesty is precisely what they've come to expect. She is, after all, the player who fearlessly articulates what everyone else is merely whispering. And the most remarkable aspect of her approach is that even when she's delivering a controversial take, she manages to do so with an undeniable, almost disarming charm. Her persona is a captivating blend of country girl honesty and an unmistakable don't mess with me attitude, which transforms every interview into something akin to a half-conversational, half-stand-up comedy routine. She'll playfully cuss, share a hearty laugh, drop a profoundly serious observation, and then, without missing a beat, pivot to discussing horses, as if nothing intense just transpired. This unique, unpredictable authenticity is her enduring magic, and this latest interview served as a powerful reminder of that captivating blend. Circling back to Caitlin Clark one more time, it's evident that Sophie harbors a genuine deep-seated respect for her. She keenly observes the league's incessant attempts to leverage Caitlin's name for fleeting headlines and lucrative sponsorships, and you can sense Sophie's palpable wariness with the entire spectacle. It's almost ironic because even while Sophie was consciously striving for a peaceful, chill vibe on her podcast, that same protective energy was unmistakably present. She was, in her own way, defending players like Caitlin without even consciously trying to. Sophie emphasized her need for time off to find peace, and it's a poignant thought that perhaps Caitlin, after the relentless, deafening noise that has enveloped her this past year, might also desperately need that same respite. Both women share a profound commonality. They are unapologetically authentic, refusing to fake it. And in the current landscape of the WNBA, that kind of unwavering integrity is becoming an increasingly rare and precious commodity. But if you thought Sophie was done dropping bombshells and insightful commentary after all that, prepare yourselves. Because once the podcast pivoted to discussing the offseason, Sophie, true to her inimitable form, went full Sophie again, implying even more unfiltered revelations were on the horizon. During her recent incredibly candid interview, Sophie opened up about her much-needed break from the WNBA, detailing her ongoing knee recovery and the liberating experience of finally getting to live a semblance of a normal life. This wasn't just a brief pause, it was a profound reset, allowing her to embrace mundane joys like Aunt Duty with her nieces and nephews, playfully joke about developing a touch of baby fever, and even admit to the shocking revelation that she'd been home long enough to actually get bored, a sensation truly alien to the relentless pace of a professional athlete's life. It painted a picture of someone genuinely stepping away from the spotlight to rediscover herself. This newfound perspective directly informed her searing observation that the WNBA world often feels perpetually on edge, a high-wire act of constant tension and scrutiny. She explicitly stated her desire to step back and create a necessary distance before the pervasive drama could fully consume her. That particular sentiment resonated deeply, especially given the sheer pandemonium of the preceding season, which felt like a relentless barrage of challenges, from a seemingly endless string of player injuries that plagued teams across the league to the non-stop media skirmishes and the social media firestorms ignited by every single move Caitlin Clark made. It was an environment of unceasing noise. Sophie, with her characteristic bluntness, made it unequivocally clear she would no longer be a participant in feeding that incessant clamor. Perhaps the most telling moment of her interview came when she was directly asked if she'd be tuning in to watch the WNBA finals. Without a moment's hesitation, her response was an emphatic, "Hell no." She elaborated, stating she hadn't watched a lick of the WNBA since her season ended, preferring instead to focus entirely on booking vacations. This stark declaration perfectly encapsulated her mood, conveying a profound disillusionment with the superficial fake unity talk that often permeates the league's public narrative. It wasn't anger driving her words, rather it was a profound sense of detachment, a calculated emotional distance from a world that had clearly taken its toll. This distinction between bitterness and burnout is absolutely crucial to understanding Sophie's current state of mind. She isn't seething with resentment or personal animosity toward anyone in particular. Instead, she's utterly exhausted, emotionally drained by the relentless demands and often toxic environment of professional sports. It's a weariness that goes beyond physical fatigue, touching upon the mental and spiritual toll of constantly performing under immense pressure and navigating complex, often challenging interpersonal dynamics. Her honesty about this burnout resonated with countless individuals, revealing a deeply human struggle beneath the veneer of athletic prowess. She further exposed a stark reality that fans often overlook, noting the common misconception that athletes simply move on after a tough loss or a season-ending injury. For players like her, however, the emotional landscape is far more complex and agonizing. She articulated this painful truth with poignant clarity. You can't watch others live your dream right after it ends. It's a powerful insight into the unique grief and emotional limbo experienced by athletes who are forced to the sidelines, witnessing the very triumphs they once pursued or even achieved, now being experienced by others while their own journey is momentarily, or perhaps permanently, paused. Then, in a remarkable and utterly Sophie-esque pivot, the conversation shifted dramatically from the heavy topics of league politics and personal burnout to the much lighter subject of winter fashion. She began playfully joking about the allure of chic peacoats and the festive chaos of Christmas bar crawls. This wasn't merely a change of subject, it was a testament to her unique, unscripted personality. Only Sophie Cunningham could. In the very same interview where she fearlessly called out the league and discussed the financial burden of fines, seamlessly transitioned to excitedly discussing her ideal holiday outfit, demonstrating a remarkable ability to control the narrative and keep her audience on their toes. She expressed a distinct wariness with the typical sweatshirt fits that often define an athlete's off-season wardrobe, declaring her intention to embrace a more feminine and bougie aesthetic. Her words, not ours, as she revamps her style. This wardrobe upgrade is clearly part of a larger plan for an indulgent and well-deserved break, which includes a highly anticipated trip to New York City for Christmas. This delightful blend of high fashion aspirations and holiday plans, juxtaposed against her earlier critiques, is not just hilarious. It's a powerful demonstration of her unwavering confidence and her determination to live authentically on her own terms, beyond the confines of the court. Indeed, Sophie possesses an uncanny ability to expertly navigate and control the flow of any conversation. One moment, you're deep in discussion about league fines and brewing controversies, and the next, you're laughing alongside her about the merits of winter coats and holiday plans. This seamless, almost jarring transition serves a crucial purpose. It's her clever way of reminding everyone that she is far more than just the tough player who swears a lot or the fiery competitor. She's a complex, multifaceted individual with diverse interests and an engaging personality that defies easy categorization, challenging the simplistic labels often placed upon female athletes. The interview then took another turn, delving into the specifics of her knee rehabilitation in a move that perfectly encapsulates her impatient, independent spirit. She revealed that she ditched her leg cast much earlier than prescribed, and crucially, without the doctor's permission, because as she bluntly put it, "I'm not patient." Yet, in a twist that almost seems too good to be true, when her doctor finally examined her knee, they were astonished to find that she was actually healing at an accelerated rate, proving once again that Sophie Cunningham operates on her own unique timeline, often with surprisingly positive results. But the absolute best part of the entire conversation was undoubtedly saved for the very end. The host, clearly sensing an opportunity for a moment of reflection, asked Sophie if she harbored any regrets about her consistently blunt and outspoken approach with the league. Sophie paused, a long, thoughtful silence hanging in the air, before letting out a soft exhale and delivering a line that will forever define her brand. "I'm proud of speaking up. Someone has to." That single powerful statement crystallizes her entire persona, because no matter the criticism leveled against her, that she's too loud, too bold, too emotional, Sophie consistently proves herself to be one of the rare few who possess the courage to vocalize what countless others only dare to whisper, becoming the essential voice for the unspoken frustrations within the league. It's precisely this unwavering authenticity that explains why her interview exploded across social media and garnered such widespread attention. This wasn't merely another athlete offering sanitized, PR-friendly soundbites about sports. This was a profoundly real human being, speaking with brutal honesty about the crushing weight of pressure, the debilitating experience of burnout, and the monumental challenge of maintaining your individual voice in a high-stakes league that too often seems intent on punishing those who dare to have one. Her raw vulnerability tapped into universal struggles, making her story resonate far beyond the confines of basketball. And even amidst all her pointed critiques and personal revelations, she still found an authentic moment to genuinely commend Caitlin Clark. This wasn't some forced saccharine praise or a manufactured attempt to pretend they were best friends. Instead, it was a real, unvarnished acknowledgement, with Sophie simply stating, "That was awesome. I hope Caitlin knows how cool that was." This wasn't just a random pleasantry, it was a profound moment of recognition from one outspoken, boundary-pushing player to another, a genuine nod of respect for doing something truly bold and impactful, acknowledging a shared spirit of defiance. Both Sophie and Caitlin, in their own distinct ways, consistently push back against the rigid expectations and unspoken rules of the league. It is this shared refusal to conform, this willingness to challenge the status quo, that truly endears them to fans and creates such a powerful connection. Their authenticity is a breath of fresh air, even if the league itself probably wishes, at times, that both of them would simply talk a little less and fit a little more neatly into predefined boxes. Their outspoken nature is their superpower, not a flaw. So yes, Sophie Cunningham held absolutely nothing back in this interview. She didn't bother to polish her words for public relations, she didn't soften her deeply held opinions, and she certainly didn't feign excitement about watching the WNBA finals. What she delivered was a rare and precious commodity for fans. Unadulterated honesty infused with an undeniable larger-than-life personality. At the end of the day, that's precisely why her audience tunes in and why her words carry so much weight. Because while Sophie Cunningham might frequently find herself making headlines for her provocative statements, at least those headlines are undeniably born from her own genuine thoughts and feelings. Say what you will about Sophie Cunningham, her fiery demeanor, her unfiltered language, her controversial takes, but the undeniable fact that she can fearlessly call out league leadership, genuinely support a phenomenon like Caitlin Clark, and then in the very same interview, effortlessly joke about peacoats and Christmas bar crawls, speaks volumes. That, my friends, is not just personality, that is pure, unadulterated talent. What were your thoughts on Sophie's latest comments? Did you find her too real, or was she just right? Let us know your opinions in the comment section below. Hit that like button to show your support, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on more unfiltered sports insights.